A will is a legal document which basically tells the people who you've left behind after you've passed away what you want to happen to your estate, how you want your assets to be distributed. If you don't have a will, obviously there's no guarantee that that's going to happen. Your estate will be subject to the rules of intestacy, which is basically the government telling those left behind what's going to happen to those assets, and that might not be how you envisaged your assets being distributed. If you don't have a will, there's no what if contingencies, or there's no catering for what happens in lifetime. You know, we have children passing away before parents, we have marriages, divorces, we have blended families, we have lots of things that happen in life, none of which will be catered for if you don't have a will. So definitely just get a will done would be my first advice. It just gives the family complete peace of mind at an already stressful time, gives them direction, and ensures your estate is going to be distributed in line with your wishes. Watch out for common issues around a will when you're actually making a will. Remember, it is a legal document. There's a strict legal process to writing a will, and it's very easy to invalidate a will through not adhering to that process. So things need to be witnessed properly, dated properly. There needs to be a proper objective process to it. So if you've not complied with that, there's the chance that there could be a challenge, it could be a dispute, or worse, the will is invalid completely. If any of those things were to happen, it's just going to cost a lot of expensive solicitor time and stress to resolve. So strongly recommend just get a will done professionally. You want all those what if situations catered for. So as I said, you know, life happens, things happen in life with families, and you want to let people know exactly what you want to happen in those different scenarios. Common mistakes are annotating wills, just making mistakes on wills. All of this has to be catered for in a legally processed manner to make sure that the will is still legally valid. Most importantly, for more complex estates where there's inheritance tax, where there's bigger families, where there's blended families, where there's more worries that you might have, strongly recommend just take professional advice, come and see us. You just want to have that peace of mind to know that, you know, all your hard-earned assets that you've built up over your lifetime are properly distributed in the right times at the most tax efficient way. So for a modest legal fee, you can get a professional like ourselves to organise your will. As part of the process, you need to choose an executor. You know, choose your executor wisely. Again, it's a strict legal process in handling someone's estate. You need to follow that strict process, otherwise you're laying yourself open to disputes and challenges. Again, it's not a route you want to go down, so just make sure again that you're taking advice, especially on more complex estates where there is inheritance tax involved, or multiple properties or multiple beneficiaries. You just want to make sure things are done correctly. You don't want to go down the route of trying to do it yourself and you end up spending a lot of money on solicitor fees and a lot of stress and a lot of time consuming work needs doing. Remember, it's an unlimited legal liability for the executor. So again, just takes professional help, even if it's to support you as the executor to get through that process unscathed. The other thing to think about for the will is gifts and legacies. So you need to decide if you want to make any small gifts, perhaps to family, friends, helpers, local charities. Those are usually small monetary amounts. Some people like to give objects like a car or a stamp collection or a painting. If you do that, just make sure that it's properly described either in the will or in a letter of wishes to ensure that it's as easy as possible for the executor to get those gifts to the beneficiary. And then after those gifts and legacies have gone out, the residue, the amount left in the estate, that's what gets distributed to the beneficiaries, typically the children, but obviously doesn't have to be that. As part of the process, you need to list out almost a balance sheet of your current financial situation, so your assets and your liabilities, income and expenditure. It's partly a legal process to that, because you need to make sure that, or your legal person that's writing your will needs to make sure that you know what you're doing, you know what money you have, you know the impact of the distributions that you're going to be making after you've passed away. But also, obviously, as financial planners, that gives us the opportunity to help you, perhaps with inheritance tax planning, whether it's care planning, all those kinds of things. We can obviously, as financial advisors, also help you along that process. In terms of getting a will done, you know, a simple mirror will is better than not having a will at all, obviously. A simple mirror will would be on first death, assets passed from spouse to surviving spouse, and then typically on to the children on second death. That's the simplest and cheapest way of doing it. As I said, that's a better way than not having a will at all. There are issues potentially with that. There's a lot of trust involved. Because obviously on first death, the surviving spouses can effectively change the will the very next day. And as we know, life does happen. The surviving spouse might move on, they might remarry, they might move into a blended family, they might go into care. All of these things can happen, and that might mean that the first to decease wishes aren't catered for, aren't guaranteed. And that's called sideways disinheritance, and that means that the wills change and the money goes off to a different family or different children, and it means that the first person to die's wishes haven't been catered for. The other potential worry of people is care costs, care fees. With a simple mirror will, on first death, all the assets pass to the surviving spouse. And it means that all of those assets then are subject to care costs potentially. And as we know, care costs can run into £400,000 or £500,000 quite easily these days in this part of the world. So it can quickly deplete people's assets. The way round that, first of all, we are financial planners. So we're in lifetime, we can start planning around these things. In terms of writing the will, we can arrange for a trust on first death. So the first person to die, their assets drop into a trust, and effectively that ring fences those assets for that person's beneficiaries. So it means that you're future-proofing your assets that are guaranteed now to pass to those beneficiaries, instead of potentially going off to a different family or being spent in care costs by the surviving spouse. So first death, half the property, assets drop into trust. Surviving spouse still lives normally, they still live in the house, they can still move. It's just that they own half the house and the trust owns half the house, which guarantees that half the property then will drop to the beneficiaries and not be subject to any of the worries that I've described. So that's a way of protecting assets on first death. If you need any help with that, or if all these sorts of things are potentially of concern to you, just pop in and we can help you with those. So the will is a legal process along with estate planning, but we are financial advisors and legal planners. And in my opinion, you can't give legal advice without knowing the financial situation, and you can't give financial advice if you don't know the legal situations, which is why we've set up this joined up approach that we can do both. We look after the overall situation. It enables us to give you joined up advice. And apart from anything else, it just makes things so much easier and more efficient for the family. I'm doing some estate planning events on that subject in the next few weeks. So if you go onto the Harold Stevens website for details of the events, you'll be able to book your place and hope to see you there in a few weeks. Nice to see you. Cheers. Bye.